वन्दे गुरूणां चरणारविन्दे सन्दर्शित स्वात्मा सुखावबोधे निःश्रेयसे झङ्गलिकायमाने
So he did both Gaia and Lakshmana. One budget? One budget, and he did two schools.
So cute.
शङ्खचक्रसिधारिणम् सहस्रशीर्षं श्वेतम् प्रणमामि
That is called the responsible for that.
Hi, my wonderful friends. It is David Ault, and I have looked forward to this moment, a pause where I could come to you and share with you in this gathering. I am in India, and just moments ago, I said my goodbyes to the film crew for our documentary, people that I have been sharing this month with. And there is such gratitude in my heart for the investment and the skill and the willingness to go where many of us have never dared to go before. Long hours, grueling terrain and travel, and yet there was absolutely zero complaining from this crew. And that in and of itself, to me, is quite a miracle. And they have permanently situated themselves in my heart as family. And along with them, all of the people who also accompanied us to help bring to life our origin story, the power of education in developing countries. To them as well, I acknowledge them and thank them for, first of all, the commitment to come all of this way. It is quite a journey to come to Cambodia, to India, is not for the faint of heart, but not only to just come and to sort of play tourist, but to get deeply invested in helping bring the story and maximizing the opportunity so that the world can witness transformation at its most vulnerable, at its most beautiful, and that really all that it takes is a willingness for each of us to show up in our own way. And to those people, too, I continue to just bow deeply in gratitude. Many of them have come here so many times over the course of these 20 years, and I am still a little bit in shock and awe that they return. And what lies next is another great mystery. It's another whole new vista of surrender as additional financing and editing and scoring and distribution and festivals and all of those kinds of things await us. And I know that just as it took all of us to get to this part, then everything that is meant to be will also accompany us to the next level. But to be here with you now and to share with you the gratitude and the joy. I wrote a little bit about it yesterday after we actually went, that's a wrap. It was kind of fun to experience that, to get to say that and to be on in this cow field was the last shot. And to just feel that and to know, oh my God, we did this. It went from an idea to an actual reality. So joy, lots of joy, and an eagerness to want to share it with so many people who are my friends, eager to share it with supporters of Kaleidoscope Child Foundation, to kind of let them know that their energy was in this, was like bubbling up. And then I had this hesitancy because so many of these people in the States are suffering. They they are experiencing all kinds of unparalleled devastation. And I wanted to be careful. I felt like I should find a way to, I don't know, to uh, help kind in some way so that they would not feel slighted. I don't even know how to describe it. I was just kind of nervous and hesitant about that. And a colleague said, no, no, David, share your joy, because joy is a form of resistance. And by resistance, meaning it is a form of piercing through the heavy, the darkness, um, in order to bring us back home. Never hesitate in sharing your joy. And I thought if there was one thing that I wanted to say to you, it's that in your personal experience, in your bubble of experience, with all those kinds of things that are coming to the shore of your daily reality, to be hyperactive, to be on watch, to be the sentinel for all things joy. And if joy feels absent, be the person that helps bring some joy to the moment, even to yourself, especially to yourself, because it's one of the deeply rooted pieces of salvation for us. And it reminded me of a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote that kind of ties into this. And it says, when a resolute young fellow steps up to the great bully, the world, and takes him boldly by the beard, he is often surprised to find it comes off in his hand, and that it was only tied on to scare away the timid adventurers. And in my notes, when I had used that long ago, I put a little personal footnote after that, and I wrote, the world was not designed for timidity. It is here for the bold and the adventurous. It welcomes the one who, with quiet certainty, readily says yes to the mystery and the daring. The world was not designed for timidity. And as my colleague reminded me, the world is not meant, the true world, the world is not meant for us to hide our joy. So I thought about that and how I might find a way to encourage you to lean into that, to keep your futility in check. And I know that can be difficult sometimes, to notice the arrival of an energy of despair and not artificially push it away, but don't give it any more attention, so that you can direct that energy to the things that bring you joy. Become deliberate, become hyper deliberate in participating in, involving in, investing yourself in the things that bring you joy. Become invested in curating the environment of people and activities that promote your joy. And particularly with people, it's time to become hyper aware of those who are too much focused on the despair, because one should be very wise with how much we we um, we allow. I'm not saying push anyone away. I'm saying just be mindful of the fact of how easy it is to absorb. And so it's wonderful to be joy and bring that joy into these arenas of those who are not experiencing that. But it's another thing to be ill prepared and then kind of by default falling into that conversation, those phone calls, those social media posts that again just keep adding the weight on that dims that joy. That's what I mean. And I think you understand what I mean. And so it all comes down to yourself, comes down to myself. And one of the things that occurred to me that is an often overlooked practice is standing in front of the mirror. Standing in front of the mirror and creating an allegiance to eye contact with yourself. You will notice an uncomfortability. You will notice distraction. You will notice a ton of thoughts that want to tell you how ridiculous. You will notice the leading thoughts that want to be critical with what it is that they're seeing. Let it all pass. Stay with them long enough. There is a softening, there is a deepening. It's almost like an exhale. And then it is in that moment that if you stay the course with direct contact, there's something there, the true you, the soul of you, the limitlessness of you that is so eager to commune. This is your ally. This connection is your reminder that joy is alive and well. This is your reminder and your friend that wants you to spend more time with it. It is the essence of you. And it takes a little while. It takes a little practice to get back to this reunion because there are so many obstacles of thought in the way. But if you stick with it, you have that reunion. And I suggest at first not to do anything other than just observe and be, to be with it. And over time, give it a week. Give it a week of devoted practice of just being with that. And then as you arrive with a deeper familiarity and ease of arriving there, then in that dropping down, you can begin to ask it for guidance for anything that is particularly up for you in that moment. It's like instead of seeking that advice outside, go to that which is in you. And we often do this, or we are promoted and taught to do this with eyes closed kind of sitting. This is just a new way. I love new ways that arrive at the same intention. Many paths up the mountain. This is a new way to get in touch with the deeper, all wise, all loving part of the truth of who you are. And instead of seeking that friendship or, opinion or advice in all of this out here, do it here. Do it with your reflection, with your eyes. It's kind of wild. I know it's going to sound really simplistic if you listen back to this, if you've stayed with me long enough. but it sounds simplistic, but the actual process of doing it is great and powerful. As is all things, power is simple. Genuine power is very simple. Genuine connection is very simple. The human mind complicates things. This sounds simple, but good. It should be simple. It doesn't cost anything but your willingness. And as you do that, then so much of the authentic you has more breadth, more permission to hang around longer in your human day. And that's a great thing. I was thinking how this exercise that I'm offering you reminds me of that trend long ago when the artist way was so popular about the morning pages. The morning pages was designed to get you out of your thinking mind, to have you sit and dedicate time to just writing free form for, I believe it was 3 whole pages of things. And over time, when you do that, and without censoring, without, again, any kind of critical thinking, just letting it out, there are things, then there are themes, there are messages, there's guidance that begins to bubble up in the things that you are writing. And the same holds true for this exercise. And so I'm going to join you. I'm going to spend more time in the mirror. I'm going to spend less time in this and the cultivation of the noise and opinion. And I'm going to spend more time cultivating the thing that is going to continue to breathe life and bolster joy. I hope you make this a priority, and I hope that this exercise is something that you will find time for and that you too will use in your practice. Namaste. Much love from India.